We know what you're thinking. With all the things you have to get done in a day, the last thing you need is another several items on your to-do list, especially if it involves trying harder to please the man in your life. Hey, you might say, what about my needs?
Don't I deserve love and jewelry?
Of course, marriage is a two-way street, but it's also a partnership where teamwork makes the dream work, and one where you don't have to wait for your husband to start doing all the right things. So with that in mind, here are some things he definitely wishes you'd do more often for the sake of both your happiness. Shake it up. Juggling so many obligations can make you fixated on maintaining your routine. But what if you got spontaneous, abandoned your schedule, and did something fun for a change? Not only does a man love to see his partner let loose every so often, but you'll reap the rejuvenating rewards too. When you ditch the office during lunchtime and meet up with your hubby instead, anything could happen.
Do you want breakfast?
Okay.
Let things go. If you're having a bad day, it can be tempting to take your frustrations out on your husband, whether you're harping on him over a recurring issue in your marriage or just venting at him about whatever's got you worked up. Of course, communication is important, and you deserve to see your guy as a confidant. But once you've made your point, consider reeling it in, especially if you realize you've begun repeating yourself. Make the first move. Even in a long-term relationship, many women seem to prefer being chased to taking the reins. But even if this dynamic usually works for you, your husband might really wish that, at least once in a while, you let your inner hunter come out to play. If you want to shake up your pattern in a way that's fun for both of you, try initiating some alone time instead of waiting for him to make the move. Your favorite. Every person has a past, but by the time you're ready to settle down, you and your spouse will be secure enough in your relationship that you don't dwell on each other's priors. Well, most of the time.
If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
The truth is, it's normal to feel insecure when your partner is telling a story about her ex that seems particularly memorable or nostalgic. And in those moments, a little reassurance can go a long way, even if your husband acts like he's brushing it off. So if you're dishing about your past, don't be afraid to cap off that story by letting your husband know that his chapter in your life is the best yet. Put down your phone. We've all been annoyed by that friend who won't tear her eyes away from the screen to have a face-to-face conversation. But most of us do the same thing to others without realizing it, particularly the people we spend the most time with. Unless you already have a no-screens rule in place, your husband would probably love for you to put your phone down and give him your full attention from time to time. Let him help. If your husband gets the kids dressed and their clothes don't match, or if he sets the table using the ivory dishes when you wanted to use the white ones, this is your chance to remind yourself that there's more than one way to get a job done, and resist the urge to jump in and fix his work just because he does things differently. When so much goes into raising a family and running a household, micromanaging the way your partner contributes is counterproductive. Instead of correcting your husband over every little thing, save the intervention for times when it actually matters, and realize that, mostly, it doesn't. Lower your expectations. Okay, so maybe it sounds bad when we put it that way, but society perpetuates a lot of myths about what a good marriage should look like.
Knock it off.
And if you expect your husband to behave like a literal Prince Charming, your unrealistic expectations may be interfering with your ability to see how much he loves you. Instead of comparing your relationship to an unattainable fairy tale, be realistic and take notice of the ways your husband makes you a priority. You might be surprised by how all those small gestures add up. Thanks for watching! Click the list icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.